you ready?
Hey, it's DJ from CSVAPE.com, and today we're going to be talking about the Mini Super RTA by Tobeco. The Mini Super RTA is built on the Mini Super Tank chassis, but includes a rebuildable deck, making this tank a full-out RTA. The Mini Super is also top fill, holding a capacity of 2 milliliters of juice with juice control. Top filling and an adjustable 510 pin make it easy for the user to refill and fine-tune. So for those who are familiar with the Mini Super Tank by Tobeco, this is the Super Mini RTA. You gotta switch those words around a little bit. Now, the top, it may look familiar to you if you do actually own a Super Tank Mini. You are familiar with this top cap / drip tip. It is one piece. So if you look closely, I don't know if you can see this in the camera, but there's kind of these riflings, if you will, this pattern inside of the drip tip, spiral. That is supposed to create a vortex, a small vortex of course, but it's supposed to increase the flavoring and increase the vapor production. So that is a feature that the Super Tank is pretty unique about. I've seen it on other products, but this one is, it seems like they focus on that a lot. So the top is threaded, just like the Mini Super Tank. You would unscrew it just like this, and you have your openings for your juice fill. You have 3 openings here. So of course, you can choose any one you'd like, but they are pretty large for those who like to use squeeze bottles or even dropper bottles. You don't have an issue with that. Now it holds 2 milliliters of juice, so it is really small. For those who like really large tanks and don't like to fill your tank often, this may not be a tank that you favor, but for those who like the small, compact, portable type of setups, this is a good tank for you. Especially if you have a small mod in general, it will kind of add to that small portability and allow you to, slip it in your pocket, but just make sure you lock your device if you do that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on and show you what the deck looks like. It is considered an RTA. Of course, that indicates the fact that the building deck is at the bottom versus an RDTA, which means the building deck is at the top. So I'm gonna unscrew this. And you have your chamber here. I don't know if you can tell on the camera again, but it has 4 openings. And what this is for your juice control. Now, every time you have a build on this tank and you need to fill your tank up, you need to close the juice feed off, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute, before you break the seal and open the top cap. Now the building deck, if you can tell, it is a velocity style. So you have your L-shaped positive, as I mentioned in a previous video, and you have your negative that is milled to the deck. So it is one piece. So since it is considered a mini tank, your terminals or posts are very close together. For those who like to make really wide coils, they may not fit on this specific tank. But for those who like to make the slightly smaller coils, you can absolutely have the ability to do that here. Now this ring, I don't know if you can tell, but it actually has a texture on the ring, which makes it a lot easier to remove it. Now one thing that people will make rave about is how easy it is to wick these types of tanks. So because it's textured, whether there's juice on it or there's no juice on it, it's really, really easy to remove. I mean, you can just technically just spin it off. It's pretty awesome. So that ring is supposed to be there to secure your cotton, so your cotton doesn't fray or move around or get all crazy. I call it the crazy hair day, but as you can tell. But anyway, you have it to secure your cotton, which is really helps with building. So you have your dual airflow. So naturally you would be mounting your coils one on each side, and because it's a velocity style deck, it pretty much tends to center it on its own, but just make sure your elevation is not too high or too low. It has adjustable airflow, and it's pretty clicky. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's good because that way the airflow is going to stay where you set it. It's not going to move on its own or have a mind of its own or of any sort. You have an adjustable 510 pin on the bottom. It is silver plated. I haven't really found me having to adjust it at all. I mean, all the mods that I have, it pretty much makes contact 100% on everything I've tried it on, so you may not even have to adjust it. But according to Tobeco, it is an adjustable 510 pin. So if you have that really short pin on your mod and you need to extend it a little bit, you can do that with this device. You can't do it with a lot of other tanks, so just keep that in mind. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this ring back on for you and kind of go over how you close off and open the juice feed. Put this back together. These holes here that I mentioned before, when you have them rotated to the open position, if there's cotton inside, you would see the cotton, especially if your juice has a color. If it's a darker juice, it's really easy to see, but if your juice is clear, you really gotta pay attention that you have it open when you're vaping it. If you have it closed, you're just asking for a dry hit and they hurt so bad. So to rotate the base, you don't want to rotate the airflow ring, of course. You want to rotate this other ring that is also textured. And you can see that it closes off the juice feed. And what that is for is if I needed to fill my tank up, I close that off before I take this off because everything's airtight here. Once you break the seal on top, it's gonna allow air in and the juice is gonna flow freely through the wicking holes and it's just gonna get everywhere. So close that off first, open the top, fill your juice, don't overfill it, close it again, close the top back onto the tank and then reopen your juice feed. That is very, very important. So it comes in black. You can check out the Mini Super RTA and other Tobeco products on CSVAPE.com. My name is DJ and we're here to help you switch the habit.
Switch the habit at CSVAPE.com.